So let's begin with a little story. So, sometime in life, you see something, someone, and you feel a great excitement just because it is maybe beautiful, maybe it is fresh, maybe it is incredible, and the only thing that come in your mind is something like, "Whoa, this is wonderful! Whoa!" So, this kind of excitement. Have you ever feel this kind of? Okay, a lot of people. I'm happy to see every people here are happy people. So when this kind of stuff happened to me, there is only thing I want. It's like, okay, I have to tell it to my friend. I have to tell it to my father, my mother. I definitely have to tell it to my girlfriend. So I have to share it. When something is so beautiful, I have to share it. And today we will talk about something that let users share beautiful stuff, like application that we develop. So now we'll tell a little bit about me. So this guy is me. And you can find me on Twitter. I am an Android developer. I grew up in Africa. And now I live in Europe, especially in Italy. So how many people here are from Italy? Okay. That's cool. So let's move on. Why should I care? I mean, you are here today to listen to this talk, but the important stuff here is why Google App Invite is important for me. So I will try to answer this question, and I will give you some answer. I hope they will be okay. So the first answer is more download. How many people here are developer and they already put some application on the Play Store? Raise your hand. Okay, we have a lot of people. Okay, so you know that when you create an application, you put it on the Play Store, what you want is a lot of people download it and actually use it. For you, it's important. And for me, it's like one download is one smile. And when I put an application on the Play Store, I want to be happy. So I want a lot of smile. I hope it's the same for you. Another question about the Play Store and the application is there are also paid application. How many people here have paid application on the market? Okay, so the next slide is for you. We need cash. Okay. Okay, I don't have to explain this. Another reason is the legacy. Let me tell the story of the word of mouth. So, long time ago, in every country and also in my place, people talk and people always talk about the things they like, the things they don't like. In my place, for example, if you want to know the hot trends, the new things in the city, you just go outside and you begin to speak with people, with your friend, with your mother, and you will listen stuff like, "Hey, did you know there is a new store on the city? I buy my shoes there and I am really handsome." Or do you know there is a new product they are seeing and they are selling? It is really interesting. Or I hate this stuff. So when you want to know something interesting, you just have to talk with people. And with word of mouth, it's like magic. Every people will know when something is great or when something is really bad. So this is a word of mouth. What's happened? What's happened is internet explosion. And like you know, a lot of people begin to create enterprise and website online based. And we have blog, we have website, we have a lot of products that are online, like for example, Facebook. And someone decided to put the word of mouth on the internet. And that gives that. We have a lot of tell a friend formula in a lot of web products, like you subscribe and they said, okay, can you invite your friend to use our service? Do you like it? Okay, just invite your friend. Just put their mail and you invite them. Or something like Dropbox said, do you need more space or more gigabyte? Just invite some friend in Dropbox and we will give you 3 gigabyte. So a lot of people put the word of mouth stuff in their web product online. And after that, obviously, we have the mobile explosion. So in this moment, the same thing happened. The word of mouth goes also on the mobile application. And a lot of people begin to develop software framework that let them make possible to share the application with other people. And one of the first that have the API was the Facebook one. And it was possible, it is now also possible, to use the Facebook App Invite API that is available for Android and for iPhone. And you can let your application be shared with the Facebook friends. But today we'll talk about the Google App Invite that have been released this year in the Google I/O by Google. So this is a legacy. This is the word of mouth. This is a big story that is going on from a long time ago, from the real life to the internet and to the mobile phones. So for a developer, it's a kind of beautiful thing to be part of this legacy. So I think it's important to put this API on your app just for this reason, because you are part of something, of the story or stuff like this. Another reason is the user actually care about sharing. Like we said before, when something is exciting, we want to share it. And someone, Mark Candless, said, happiness only real when shared. So let's just let the user share your app. They want to do it. Now we see some bad and good patterns, some bad and good way to put the share my app with your friend in your application. The first one is the bad pattern, and it is just simple. Please don't stalk. I will repeat it again. Please don't stalk. So, please don't stalk. Why? Because if you enter an application and the first message you receive is, oh, great, you installed this application. Can you share it with your friend? Okay, no, I don't know what is it. I have to test it. Okay. After 5 minutes, okay, so you are using my application. Can you share it with your friend, please? Okay. And again, tomorrow I open the application. Can you share it with your friend, please? So we don't want to be annoying to the user. So obviously, I will say, don't do this. I propose the smart way in 2 steps. Be ready and be kind. So the first step is the easy one, is be ready. That means you have to be ready when the user will feel like, I want to share this app because I like it. To do this, you just put a menu, share with your friend, and you put in your application, and that's it, simple. When the user will use your app and will experience the great stuff, it's kind of normal. Maybe he will click on that menu and just invite some friends to use it. And the be kind is some kind of pro tips. So if you have great service and great features, you can just offer something. You can encourage your user to share the app by offering something in exchange, like, okay, we'll give you some free stuff or some more premium feature if you invite some friend to use the application. Or you can also encourage by giving some free stuff to the people that have been invited into the application. Okay, a little bit some recap. So we learned that the Google App Invite is important because it gives us more download, because we are part of the history, because we just let's grow the happiness by letting our user to share it. And also something about the good pattern and the bad pattern. Don't be a stalker, and try to be smart and kind, and stuff like this. So let's move to the second part of the talk, Google App Invite API. So how does it work, actually? Here we have the famous workflow. So here on the left top, you have the screen when the user clicks on invite your friend. On the first part, you have the profile name and something like this app is really interesting, so I want to share it. And you have a place where user can actually digit a number phone if you want to send an SMS to a specific person, or he can digit an email if you want to send it to a specific person. Or there is also the Google suggestion That means Google choose your 6 most used Google contact, and he proposes you to send to one of them just by clicking. You can choose it. And at the end, you have the list of all your contacts, and you can just scroll and choose the one you want to invite. The next step is the contact with email will be sent by email. The contact with number will be sent by SMS. And they will have in this way on the phone that can be iOS or Android phone. And if it is an email, they will receive the message and also the Google Play Store badge of your application with the writing, the description, and the button to install it. If it is an SMS, it will be just the message and a link where the user can click. After this click, the user will be redirected in 2 different places depending if the application is installed on the phone or not installed on the phone. So if the application is already installed, he will be redirected directly in the application. If it is not installed, you will go directly to the marketplace, directly on the page of the application. You can just click on the button install and you install it. After the installation, and if the app was already installed, when you enter in the application, you can be broadcasting the deep link if the developer chooses it, and you will go to a specific page of the application, maybe because there is a freebie for you or some kind of free stuff to welcome you. If there is no setup for the deep link, you will just enter in the application in the main page. So this is actually the workflow. So it is simple, and you have suggestions. You can put custom people, and the installation is actually quick. 1 button and you install the application. So let's add it to our application. We have 4 steps. We have to prepare, we have to set up. We need some kind of file called configuration file, and then we need to code something. For the preparation, we need a computer with Android Studio and the Google Play Service SDK. So you just have to go to developerandroid.com, and you will have actually all the steps to install these 2 elements. So let's go. The setup part. Set up the manifest and put the Google Play version. Actually, this part is, let's say, not mandatory or not necessary, because this was used for the people who develop in Eclipse. And in Eclipse, you have to put the version of the Google Play service the library you are using. Now it's not the case because we have Gradle, and we can add dependencies, and there is already the version there. So you go on the Gradle, on the app scope, you can add compile the Google Play Service app invite. 830 is the last version. And on the project part, you can add this class part with the Google Play Service 1.5.0 beta 2. Now let's talk about the configuration file. How many people there develop application using Eclipse? Raise your hand. Okay, we have a 3-sat guy. Okay, not a problem. Before, when you add, if you develop with Eclipse and you add a new Google service on your application, you had to add a lot of things on the manifest, like the version I showed you before, but also it was about putting some API key and a lot of stuff. And now with the configuration file, it's pretty easy because everything about your application, the information, the client info, the information about the authentication, information about the API key, information about all the service of Google you are using in the JSON file that you can actually generate from the Google Developer Console. You download it and you put on your application. And then the magic of Android is Android Studio. So with the new tool and Gradle, everything is taken automatically from your configuration file, and they will be put on the res part of your project during the the building of the release of your application. So what we'll need to know here is you go to the Google Developer Console, you create an application if you don't have created yet. You will have to provide the package name of your application, and you enable the API you want. In our case, we enable App Invite API, and we have to give the SHA-1 key. It is the fingerprint of your key store. You know it? How many people know about the fingerprints of your application of the key store? Okay, like, cool. With the key tool, there is a command line you can just put on the command prompt, and it will generate all the key and you just copy the SHA-1, you put it on the Google Developer Console, and after that, you generate your file, you download it, and you put on the application. Okay, now we have to code something. But before, let's see how the application will speak with the Google Play Service SDK. Google introduced some library they call Google API Client that help us to connect with the Google Play Service, specifying the service you want to talk to, and then we have all the methods that we can call. So what we need to do is to connect to the Google API Play Service using an instance of Google Client API. We specify we want to use the App Invite service during that part, and then we connect. After, we can create an intent for the App Invite, and in this intent, we can specify everything we want about the invitation we are doing in that moment. We will handle the result asynchronously later or synchronously just waiting for the answer. And we can also check if someone opened the application from an invitation received from the Google API. So in the code, what does it mean? This is the builder of the Google API client. And you can see here at API, we specify we want to use the App Invite API after being connected with this API client Google object. Enable auto manage, let the class Google API client manage automatically the connection with the Google Play service. If you don't put it, you have to specify some callback about losing connection for some reason, and you have to try to reconnect and stuff like this. Using enable auto manage, actually he will do it alone. In this part, we manage the connection or the disconnection when someone enters or goes out of our application. So we don't let the client connected when someone is out. So we have this connect and disconnect. This is a callback we need. It is on connection failed. So if something going wrong with the connection with the Google Play service, you can let the user know it, because you have this callback. Now this is a builder when you want to send an invitation. So we build an intent, and we have to specify some parameter like the title of the invitation, like the message we want the user to see. We can specify an image, the URL of an image, a specific image of our application. We can specify also the deep link if you want to enable the deep link service, and the call to action test, who is sometime install the application or simply install. So when we build this intent, we can start it and we wait for the result. When we have the result, we can check actually if it's actually the result is okay. So we know that the invitation have been sent without problem, or we can tell the user that there was some problem with the sending of the invitation. In this part, with put on and create, we can actually know with this callback when a user entering the application with after responding to an invitation sent from Google App Invite. In all this piece of code, I don't do anything. There is just some log, but in the next part of the talk, we have to put something there to collect information for the analytics. So let's do some recap. What we learned is the Google app use SMS and email to send invitation, that we have a deep link service if we want to use it to actually redirect the user directly on some specific page. And we learn how to set up the configuration file, add the service to application, and actually put it some code to make it work. So now the best part is you can measure your invitation and see how many invitations have been sent in your app and how many invitations have been complete, received, and stuff like that. And it's kind of beautiful for developer to know how, if the user is using actually all the features of his application. So let's move on the Google Analytics API. So this is another API of the Google Play service. What we need to know about this Analytics API is it is an old API that was already used a long time ago for, actually now it's also continuing to do this, measure the user activity for a website or for blog or stuff like that. And recently there is also the Android part, so you can also measure what happened in your application. In our case, we will try to measure the invitation. So there is 4 things important in the Google Analytics API. The collection of information from your application. Then we have the configuration that is done on the website of Google Analytics, where you configure and you say what do you want what do you want to process in the data that are collected from your application. The processing part that process the data collected using the data you put on the configuration part. And then the report part, where you can specify how you see the result from the processing. You can also configure custom view for the reporting part. Okay, to integrate the Google Analytics API, we will actually do almost the same thing, but the difference is we need a tracking ID to identify our application on the Google Analytics server. And the other part I quite the same. So let's begin. We prepare. Same thing. Android Studio and Google Play Service SDK. Okay, before 3 people told me that they're still using Eclipse. And this is the second time I say Android Studio. There is a reason for that. Some time ago, at the Android Dev Summit, something beautiful happened. I don't know if it's beautiful or it's sad. The Android developer tweeted something about that. I was not at the conference, but I see the tweet, and it was really interesting to see that. We have actually deployed Eclipse. Drops mic. Okay. So, a lot of like, a lot of retweet. Nothing more to say, so let's continue. Set up the manifest. Here we need internet and network, access to network state, because we will actually collect information and send all these to the Google Analytics server. And we also have to specify a class that extends application. We will need this to create a tracker. The tracker will be responsible to send data we collect to the web server of Google Analytics. To set up the gradle dependency, we have to, at the app level, we have to apply this plugin, Google Service, and we have to specify the library Google Play Service Analytics, 0.3.0. Now, how to get a tracking ID? You have to go to the website of Google Analytics, and you create an account. You create, if you didn't have create yet, a mobile project for your Android project. And at this moment, after giving all the information about this, you will receive a tracking ID that you have to save on your on your project for the future use. And actually, this tracking ID will also be put on the JSON configuration file I told before. We have to configure analytics to process the app invite data. That actually means we have to create a custom property. This is done on the website of Google Analytics. I didn't put information because it is on the developer android.com documentation, and it is quite simple. You just push button, you add new stuff, and you put some invitation name. And we have to create the app invite dashboard, so the custom view to see the invitation. We have to do this because natively the Google Analytics, it's not prepared to data like invitation from an Android application. So this is like custom event, custom data. Configuration file again. Here we have to do the same thing, but when we enable the Analytics API, actually he will ask us to connect to the Google Analytics project and to connect the project of Google Analytics project. So he will know exactly what is the project we are tracking here, and we'll put the information like the tracking ID in the JSON file. And then we download the file again and we replace the older one. So on the code, we just have two steps. We create a tracker, and with that tracker, we'll generate some events. When we want to send an invitation, we can create the event, okay, send an invitation. And when an invitation is received and is complete, you can create maybe, okay, I received some invitation, and then you send this event. If you want, you can create more kind of event, like, okay, I received an invitation, or I tried to send an invitation, but it isn't going well. So you can track maybe more kind of event if you want. For the test, I just work with these two events. So at the application level, we have to create this tracker. Like you can see here, there is a static method, so we can access the tracker from every activity of our application. And here I create a new tracker, and I give my tracking ID, so he can actually identify to the Google Analytics server. And then I enable some kind of automatics reporting or collection of auto tracking of the activity, and that's it. So when we want to send an event, we can use the event builder, and we have to specify two mandatory property, like the category and the action. For the category, we can put invitation, and for the action, we can put something like have been sent, have been received, and stuff like this. So I just call the tracker, and then I create the event, and I send with the tracker. Obviously, I set my properties. This is the other event I create for when an invitation has been accepted by a user during the reception. And this is some data I just created to actually test the app invite and see if the analytics are really working or not. So I created an application 1 month ago, and I tried to test and to send some invitation and accept someone and refuse some others. And this is actually the data generated from the custom view for the invitation. And actually, we can see that we have the send application, the accept application, with the event I generated. And okay, so some little recap. we had a new service with analytics API of the Play Service SDK, and we have to create a project on the Google Analytics server and get the tracking ID. On the Google Developer Console, we had to connect our application to this to the project of Analytics API. And the important things to know about Google Developer Console, everything is easy and they guide you step by step. So it is not difficult. You go there and they say, okay, what application do you use? This one. Okay. What do you want to enable? I want to enable this service. Okay, that's right. What do I need? Okay, give me the share one of your key store, and then you give it. Okay, what do you need? Okay, and then at the end, just download the configuration file. It is really automatic and simple to use. And so after configure also the specific the custom view for the invitation. We can actually begin to test and to send some invitation in our application. One thing important to know is when you have to give your SHA-1, the SHA-1 fingerprints certificate, you have two keys, the debug key store and the market key store. So you have to be really careful. When you are testing, you can use your debug key store and you can test with your friend with your application with in debug mode. When you want to release the application on the marketplace, you go again on the Google Developer Console, and this time on the service of the Google App Invite, you generate another authentication one where you put the share one of your market key store, and you download a new configuration file from JSON. Because some developer forget this, and at the end nothing work, and it's just because he actually built the application, but in the configuration file there is a share one of the debug key store, and there is not the share one of the market key store. And the APK have this time with the market key store, so during the invitation, actually he will not be able to connect to the Play service and to send his invitation. Okay, so I have some little demo here. Okay, so this is the application I was talking about. I use it to test, and if you want to test, like to see if everything is working, you can actually send some invitation to yourself, so to your mail or. So here you can find my contact and my mail. This is the link where you can find the code on GitHub of this small application I built, and you can see everything I talk about. And here are the slides. Thank you for your attention.